Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in tonight. This is a WNBA recap. Another three games on the docket for tonight. Some things went as planned, some things didn't. Let's just get started with the first game. Phoenix in New York. This one got a little ugly down the stretch. The Liberty, we already know what their situation is with their youth, and then with them already coming in short-handed with Sabrina going down last game. Also, Kia Nurse. She played, but she's still feeling the effects of her ankle injury. Really, it was just that fourth quarter. Phoenix blasted them. DT had another good game, 18-9. Also had three rebounds. BG was dominant as usual. Shabria Hartley. Whew.
Hmm.
Lord Jesus, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to you, man. What you think about this one?
Nothing. Is it crazy that we've gotten what 4 games into the season? The most consistent performer on the Mercury has been Rhea Hartley, right? To not, we know about the big three that's there, and it's a formidable big three. It's almost fair to say that kind of like the tip of the spear has been Miss Rhea Hartley. She's been the consistent attacker. She's been consistently at opponents' necks. And even in this game, there were times, Phoenix got a little flat at times. And here she goes coming off another screen, midi, midi, triple, foul line, just consistently attacking. And I mean, she's played a big role in them kind of trying to get right, until they get rolling, honestly. And then for the Liberty, I mean, you were shorthanded, like you said. I was impressed the way that they scrapped because it looked like it was going to get away from them earlier. And then,
Hmm.
they kept fighting and scrapping. Jazz Jones, Kylie Shook, Kia, uh, Megan Walker. Just there's a lot of youth over there, but I like the way that they don't quit. The other thing I like is I like what their offense looks like. And it's kind of like the fun part with it is give it a year or two as the current players on this roster grow, and then to see the type of players they add. Because I like the players that are on their team, but if you imagine a couple different types of bigs, bigs that are maybe more comfortable taking those threes already versus bigs that are kind of expanding their range, that
Right.
like their offense is gonna be fun, man. So I mean, there's nothing to hang your head about there. I mean, you lost to a more veteran team, and it took a while for it to happen, honestly. And shout out to their coach, Liberty coach. I really like the fact that some coaches, even when they're in these types of situations, when you're taking over and it's an official rebuild, they're hesitant on letting young players play. Tom Thibodeau, um, and he's went the opposite. There were a couple of stretches where we see 5 rookies like you're only if you're only gonna get to where you want to go to faster, the more
Right.
reps these kids get, right? Get them their reps, dog. Get them all their reps. Get them in now.
Yeah, especially when you're in a nothing to lose situation. Like,
Yeah.
what would be the purpose of of holding them back? Like, yeah, just like you said, just throw them out there, throw them in the fire quick. Let them grow up. But yeah, that was a tough one for New York. They fell to 0-5. But we kind of knew what it was with them going into the season. So it's nothing to panic about. Moving on to the next game. This one kind of surprised me. Atlanta and Indiana. Indiana took that one 93-77. This is It's really the first offensively futile game we've seen from Atlanta
Hmm.
this season. Um, Indiana, they were on it today. Of course, Kansas Dupree did what she did. Kelsey Mitchell on fire. She had 23. Another game from Julie Aleman, 10, 9, and 7, near triple double. I think last game she set the franchise record for
Yes, she
assists.
did.
So she's starting to come into her own. From the Atlanta side, Kennedy Carter did her thing. Courtney Williams, she looked like she's getting into the groove. She had 18. They did have four players in double figures, but just the rest of the team just couldn't throw a rock in the ocean. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah. So this is something we've talked about already. What Marion Stanley's doing over there with that offensive philosophy they have, that equal opportunity that's similar to the one that Washington runs, and obviously the pieces are different, but we really got to see that go to work. And I think the biggest difference for these two teams because there's a lot of youth here. One team has Candace Dupree as the calm, right? One team does not. That's not to knock the veterans on the dream, but at this point, you can't tell me it wasn't a luxury for the Fever at times to get the ball to Dupree, different mismatches, different spaces on the floor, and she just made things happen. Just kind of calm a young team down. And for the Fever, we're seeing them grow up little by little, taking little steps.
Hmm.
The game before this one, they got up. They got up by enough to be leading in a game down the stretch, but they were so not poised down the stretch. Then
Right.
this one, we see them get up, and it didn't feel like it did last game at all. They felt like they were in control a little bit more. And you brought up Julie Alamon, and I think that's the fun part with, you got the Mitchells, you have Julie, the three of them as they continue to grow and figure out how to kind of just flow with each other. It's a lot to deal with, especially in that type of offense where everybody's able to contribute. You essentially you got 2 point guards essentially with Kelsey and Julie Alamon. Alamon's probably more of a natural point. Kelsey's more of a scorer. You got Tiffany Mitchell who can do a little bit of everything. And then, you throw in your Tierra McCowan, the ageless Candace Dupree. Mavunga had a good game today. Prayers up to Victoria Vivian's. Hopefully her injury's not too serious, but she's been having a good start. She's had a good start to this season as well. I think that was the biggest thing. And one thing I wanted to share was this was from Michelle Vopel. She tweeted this after the game that Candace Dupree said she's having more fun this season and feels she's better utilized on the court than the past 3 years in Indy, which she said were difficult.
Mm. Yeah,
And
that kind of speaks volumes, man.
and another thing, we've seen her attempt threes this year,
Right.
so it's a lot. And I guess just with the dream, there's gonna be ups and downs with this.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I don't really have much to say there for them. I know that they took care of the ball better than the Fever did, but offensively, they just weren't nearly as efficient. They have too many possessions where their spacing was just really bad. And,
Yeah.
you got those smaller guards at times where your spacing's kind of jacked up. Unintentionally, your teammates might, by taking away some of their space, you're kind of helping the defense out,
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
you
Making
know?
them easier to cover.
Yeah, so I felt like that happened some, but it's something that, the Nikki Colleen's a good coach. They will figure things out, but it felt like at times that was some of the things that kind of hampers them a little bit.
Yeah. So the last game of the day, Vegas and Dallas. This was a fun one,
Yes, it
man.
was.
Satu Sabali. I like the way she's coming on lately, man. She's getting aggressive, starting to look real comfortable. I don't know how that's gonna work out for the rest of the league, but because we seen what she can do. So she had a stellar game, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Arike had 20 tonight. That was pretty much the bulk of their offensive contribution. But for Vegas, Asia Wilson, of course, was the difference maker. Um, she had 19 to 8.
Mm.
They pretty much spread it around today. Had 5 people in double figures. Then Carolyn Swords had 7, and Danielle Robson had 7. Um, just just the older team picking on the younger team
Yeah, and,
from
and
what I could see.
and the other thing today is we got to see the return of Lindsay Allen for the Aces.
Hmm.
I don't feel like that should be ignored. So what they look like the other day without her. Then today they look, you can see the impact that she has on both ends. And for the Wings, it seemed like, and that's sometimes, especially with a young team, and they're, a lot of teams are still trying to find their legs because this condensed schedule is doing a number on even the young teams. It felt like
Hmm.
the Wings, like maybe with about 3 minutes left in regulation, they were gassed. They were gassed, man. There were no legs left. It was one possession that had me dying. Like I knew they were like just not that they were done with the game mentally, but just physically. Like everybody's tank was on E. I think Enrique was coming up court, and all four of her teammates were behind her, lagging up court. It was like, yeah, they just it's getting to them, right? Monday,
Yeah.
they had a case of the Mondays already. Um, but I think for the Wings, we're really not gonna see like the better version of them for probably like another 5 to 6 games.
Yeah.
As some of these rookies, 'cause I feel like some of them, especially Satu and Allery, as they get more comfortable, things get a little bit better on them offensively, open
Hmm.
things up for their guards, because they have very talented forwards. It's just about them getting comfortable, like you said. Satu starting to become a little bit more assertive. I'm sure Allery's not too far behind either.
Yeah, man. This is growing pains. That's all. With teams like this, and like we mentioned with the Liberty, also with Indiana, they just got a lot of new faces, and they got to figure it out. And that only comes with experience. So we'll we'll expect to see them develop and grow a little bit more. And yeah, man. Hey, shout out to the Office Space reference. But yeah, another great night of WNBA action. Everybody has tomorrow off.
Yes,
They're looking forward to it, and
I
we're
am as
looking forward
well.
to it. So just want to thank everybody for tuning in, man, and we'll catch you guys on Tuesday.